So I just want to be super clear on some of the stuff because it's interesting watching the different reactions from different people on Kevin Van Rompuy's Facebook and my Facebook. And so yes, you are seeing a total difference, but still supported under the same alignment between my delivery and Kevin's delivery. Kevin has a very specific audience of people that he caters to. And then I also have a very specific audience and people that I cater to. And it all stems from what you gravitate towards, what you glom onto. And Kevin, had a life before Jillian. It wasn't like Kevin was only about Jillian forever. No, Kevin has specific strengths that he is capitalizing on and is very good at, and it's what I need. And I have very specific strengths that I capitalize on that I'm good at and what we both need. And so I noticed that right now we are in the midst of research. We are. So I can appreciate the way Kevin delivers information on his Facebook. It really goes into the details upon details upon details, which, yes, in the big picture, you have to understand the details, the things that make up the bigger picture. But ultimately, his audience is going to have to look at my information, because what I've seen is some of his audience is getting lost in the details. And it's not that Kevin fails to convey the bigger picture. That's just not his strength right now. That's not what he's focusing on. Right now, he's focusing on the very minute details that make up the big picture, because eventually those details are going to be translated into the book that's going to then support and be that foundation, that very solid foundation of the bigger picture. And so I noticed that somebody was responding to his fungus post about mushrooms and healing and microbiome and all these different bacteria. There's a lot of people out there in the holistic world, that's all they focus on is probiotic, prebiotic, and that's it. And then they're getting all this stuff, this misinformation about the salt and about everything else, and they're so focused on the microbiome. So when they see Kevin's post, they're just like, they don't understand how it fits into the Jilly Juice world. They see me as just another freaking probiotic with salt that they have been demonized against. And so it would do Kevin's audience very well if they would just get their, I would say, if they would open up their mind to look at the bigger picture, the bigger information on my Facebook, instead of being so glommed onto his. But I can't force them to do that. They know he works with me. I probably rub some people who are very into the details the wrong way because they're so focused on the details and then demonizing, and I can't have somebody doing that stuff onto my Facebook. So yes, I do block. However, people have to understand that are new, that have just joined or discovered us, or they, for some reason are paying attention to Kevin's Facebook and mine, and then they get lost in the details of Kevin's stuff, but they don't really fully understand where the hell Jillian's coming from by saying, what does she mean by all food is healthy? What does she mean by people who are making a distinction between healthy food and unhealthy food? It's not about that. It's about unhealthy people versus healthy people. What the hell is she doing promoting vaccines? I mean, Jillian seems to be going back to the mainstream, and Kevin seems to be catering to the holistic allopathic party line, or not allopathic, but catering to the conspiracy party line, and that's not the case at all. He's away from that conspiracy world. He's not playing that game. He really isn't. I mean, I shouldn't speak for him. I think he leans towards the holistic ideology, but he eats meat. So he's not exactly, the quintessential holistic person, vegan, vegetarian that some people think he is. He has changed his politics. But I do notice some people on his Facebook still thinking that he is part of that world, and they're projecting their narrow focus about probiotics and prebiotics and not realizing that Jilly Juice is not just probiotics. Okay, we're not just probiotics. We are a synergistic chemistry between the cabbage and the kale, which is full of information, data, vitamins, minerals. And then the pink Himalayan salt, the minerals. The salt is what the body needs. And then you need the minerals, and you need the water as the carrier force. And you have the lactic acid that's in the probiotics. So it's something that works together synergistically to then energize the right components in the body, wake up the parts in your body that are asleep. And that's where then the pain comes in to the surface. And that's when people start healing, waking up parts of the body that have been asleep for freaking years. Okay. So this is in response to one of his Facebook friends who are so narrow tunneled into the whole probiotic prebiotic. And then of course the post that is just focusing on the microbiome and the bacteria, when it's just more than that. It's more than just microbiome. Okay. I mean, yes, it's about all of this type of bacteria, but it's the nutrition. Okay. I mean, you got to have bacteria, yes, but then you also have to have the right nutrition. And then you have to heal and seal. And then you have to have the energizing force, the electricity, the electrolytes, bioelectricity to then go and spark life back into the body. And so, you know, we are going to put it all together in the book. Okay. Thanks, John. Fucking year's okay with me because I've been. But here's the thing, we're going to put it all together in the book. So you not only get the very minute details that Kevin's putting down there, but you're also going to get a bigger, broader picture. So you know what the intention is, what the bigger picture is. The reason why we discriminate in the beginning as far as the diet is because we are working with your imbalances. It's not saying that you stay away from red meat and milk and carbohydrates forever. No, we're acknowledging that people are coming into the protocol with imbalances in their fatty acids, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals, and we are catering to what the general population is dealing with. Just like them demonizing salt and high blood pressure, not everybody has cardiovascular issues, but most people do have cardiovascular issues. So that's why salt is demonized on a universal platform. Okay. And so we're doing the same thing. We're saying, okay, we're going to do a specific universal diet that is still so diverse enough to give you the nutrients that you need, but it's not going to undermine you during the healing process. And then you will systematically figure out when to introduce foods back into your diet. Because really, in the long run, the whole focus is down the road is to be able to eat your food supply. All food is healthy. It's the unhealthy bodies that can't handle the food supply. So at some point, you're going to trigger a very healthy body where there's nothing in the food supply you can't eat. Now, you can choose not to eat it for whatever reason. Like I choose not to drink alcohol, but I could if I wanted to. It's not poison per se, but that's the only thing I choose not to eat in the food supply. But I mean, I could drink a soda. I could drink a kombucha, which is no different than alcohol if I want to. But I just don't like the taste of alcohol, and I don't feel the need to drink a beer, okay? But if there was something that was like an exotic dessert that was kind of like a fermented drink that had something fancy in it, that had some kind of alcohol in it for whatever reason, yeah, I mean, why not? It's a dessert. It's something in moderation. My body can handle it, okay? So the whole point of the J juice is never to discriminate against anything. There'll be no isms in your vocabulary. There'll be no racism in your vocabulary. There'll be no vegetableism in your vocabulary. There'll be no meatism in your vocabulary. You will not have any discrimination in your world at all. And then you will know how to separate yourself away from those that have those imbalances, and you won't cater to those type of people. You will acknowledge them and say that yes, they exist, and you still have love for them, but they don't have to be in your immediate circle. Because there's no reason to hate anybody. There's no reason to really love anybody, but you can acknowledge someone as a human that has different biochemistry or similar biochemistry. You will bring those close to you that are similar, and those that are not, you'll say, hey, nice to see you from far away. Okay, and that's how you protect yourself. Okay, so I just want to make sure that Kevin's people know that this is not just about prebiotic and probiotic. We're not just focusing on just the salt, just the probiotic, just the cabbage and kale. It is an actual chemical process that is so perfect and so revolutionary that nothing in the holistic allopathic world can touch this. The reason being is because pain's involved. This is not poisonous, but when you actually heal, you feel pain. And that's nothing that the allopathic holistic industry or the Ayurvedic people will ever acknowledge. Because when you run symposiums and campouts where you're just cooking healthy food, then you're acknowledging how unhealthy you are. And then it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so that's what I want to make sure people in Kevin's world understand, that this is a bigger picture than just the separate components of the recipe. Though Kevin is studying the separate components of the recipe and how it impacts the body, doesn't mean that that's all that matters when it comes to the J juice. It's not just probiotics, prebiotics, or the salt, or just the cabbage and kale. It is the chemistry and the biochemistry and how they affect each other, and your environment, and then the indicators. Okay? Have a good day. Bye.